Good afternoon. This is my SDG 4 assignment for CIS 3620 for climate action in Spain. So, here again are the 17 sustainable development goals provided by the United Nations, that being no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation, and infrastructure, reduced inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice, and strong institutions, and partnerships for the goals. So here's what climate action is. Goal 13 calls for urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts. It is intrinsically linked to all 16 of the other goals of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. To address climate change, countries adopted the Paris Agreement to limit global temperature rise to well below 2 degrees Celsius. Climate change is now affecting every country on every continent. It is disrupting national economies and affecting lives, costing people, communities, and countries dearly today and even more tomorrow. People are experiencing the significant impacts of climate change, which include changing weather patterns, rising sea level, and more extreme weather patterns. The greenhouse gas emissions from human activities are driving climate change and continue to rise. They are now at their highest levels in history. Without action, the world's average surface temperature is projected rise over the 21st century and is likely to surpass 3 degrees Celsius this century, with some areas of the world expected to warm even more. The poorest and most vulnerable people are being affected the most. So here's how Spain and the US compare in climate action plans. Climate change has caused temperatures to rise in the world to rise in the last few decades, and the temperatures in Europe have risen twice as fast as the average change in the rest of the world. In Spain, which already has a lot of hot and dry areas in climate, extreme events such as heat waves are becoming increasingly frequent. The country is also experiencing more episodes of drought and increased severity of those episodes. Water resources will be severely affected in various climate change scenarios. As of 2022, the U.S. has achieved about one third of its 2030 emissions reduction target. CAT currency policies projections, which include the IRA, show more pronounced reduction in emissions until 2030. Although CAT projections suggest the U.S. will close the gap by additional 30 to 44% by 2030, it is still 23% to 37% short of meeting the required 2030 emissions reductions. So here's Spain's plans for combating climate action. The Spanish government will pledge by the end of the decade to cut emissions by about 7 percentage points more than previously said, but not as much as demanded by the environmentalist groups. The government will raise its 2030 greenhouse gas reduction target by several points to about 30% less than what was emitted in 1990. The tougher target will be included in an update of Spain's climate and energy roadmap, due to be sent to Brussels by the end of June, in which goals for hydrogen and renewables power energy are also expected to be more ambitious. And here's my X-Mind example for how Spain will be combating climate action. The goals of the National Integrated Plan for Energy and Climate 2021 to 2023 are to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, expand the use of renewable energies, and enhance energy efficiency. And then we also have the draft law on climate change energy transition, which was presented in July 2018 and was approved by the Council of Ministers on the 22nd of February in 2019. And then finally, the Strategic Energy and Climate Framework, composed of the draft law on climate change and energy transition, the National Integrated Plan for Energy and Climate, and Strategy for a Fair Transition, is a fundamental instrument promoting the transformation required of Spain by the 2030 Agenda. Thank you for watching.